You guys ready for more show? Yes! I am super excited to introduce this next guy for you. But first, I want to send a special thank you to our sponsor, Showtime. They have a new show called I'm Dying Up Here from executive producer Jim Carrey, and it airs on Sundays at 10, 9 Central, so please tune in. Our next comedian is a lovely man. He writes for Vice and College Humor. Please put your hands together for Nat Towsen.
Keep it going for Becca, please. And for Pay Studios for having us here. This is great. You guys, I just turned 30. 19 months ago. Still look like this. Just waiting for my 30s to kick in. Just still a long child. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I look like someone tried to enlarge a photo of me when I was 8 years old and they forgot to hold down shift. Or like a folk tale that Norwegian parents tell their children so they'll go to bed on time. It's like a long matchstick man will scoop you up if you're not in bed by sundown. I'll tell you a bit about myself. I'm a huge nitpicker. I like to pick things apart, or I just do pick things apart until I can't enjoy them anymore. I've always been like this as far as I can tell. The earliest I can remember doing this, though, I was 4 years old. When I was 4, I was completely obsessed with the Berenstain Bears. For the uninitiated. The Berenstain Bears is a series of children's books about a family of bears, mama, papa, brother, sister, that was created so that white parents don't have to talk to their kids about issues. Like peer pressure? It's tough. We're gonna let the bears tackle that one. And every Berenstain Bear book has the exact same plot. A brother and sister get into some typical suburban trouble. Like they get bullied, or they watch too much TV, or they cook meth. Papa tries to solve the problem, but he makes it worse, and then Mama solves the problem using her unemployed wisdom. It's like 70s liberal. They're like, a woman did something. Does that challenge your assumptions? I can tell you as an adult that these books are full of plot holes. Like, for example, Papa is a carpenter, but they live in a tree. Other people in these books have houses. They never address that. But as a kid, I didn't notice that. I loved these books. I hadn't figured out that there was so much wrong with them yet until one day I found the loose thread that I would pull until it ruined the Berenstain Bears for me forever. I was reading the Berenstain Bears Go to the Doctor, and in this book, sister has broken her arm. She's got it in a cast. Brother is signing her cast, and so far he has written B-R-O-T-H. I looked at that. I looked at my mom. I was like, Mom, what is he writing on her cast? She said, he's writing his name. And I said, hold the fuck up. I'm paraphrasing. His name is Brother? His legal name. Like his Christian name is... On his birth certificate, it says Brother Berenstain. My mom was like, yeah, what's wrong with that? And for the first of what would become thousands of times throughout my life, I said, I'll tell you what's wrong with that. So first things first, he is 2 years older than sister. What kind of sickos name their only child Brother? Or was he the only one from the litter that survived? Bears are born in 2 or 3. Second of all, how lucky were they that that second kid was a girl? Like, what would they have done if it had been a boy? Like, my beautiful son, your name shall be... Tough break, kid, it's also Brother. We're locked into the name scheme. And now that we know that these are their legal names, what kind of person names their baby girl Mama. That's worse. Like if someone hands you a 0-day-old baby and you're like, oh, what's up, Mama? They should be like, nope. That just goes to the next person. I guess why you had twins, because the other person just wasn't fit for a baby. And what are the odds that Mama fell in love with a guy whose legal first name is Papa? Does that strike you as astronomically unlikely? Like, she had to be dating some guy named Chris. Her friends were all like, you have to meet this guy. Mom was like, why? Does he have a good job or something? They're like, no, he's a carpenter. He lives in a tree. It doesn't make sense. I know. But he has a garbage name like you do. You two could get together and continue the cycle of abuse. And they did. I know this seems like a crazy thing to have been mad about at age 4, but they have a cousin whose name is Freddie. Real names exist in the Berenstein Bears universe. Anyway, that's why I'm an atheist. It can't handle an inconsistent narrative. I know that this is bad. By the way, in case you were wondering, I know that this is not a good way. This is not a formula for a happy life. I know this because the other day I was taking the bus, because I'm eco-conscious and fabulously wealthy, and I was taking the bus pulled over at a stop. Bus driver gets on the PA system, and she goes, we're going to be stopping here for a couple of minutes. We're ahead of schedule. This happens. If the bus is ahead of schedule, and then it leaves ahead of schedule, people who check the bus schedule will miss their bus, even if they're on time. It sucks, but it happens. And everyone on the bus is like, it happens. Except for one guy in the back of the bus just like pops up. And he's wearing like blue sneakers and jeans and like a plaid shirt and glasses. He's pretty tall. He's got brown hair. And he's about 15 years older than I am. And he starts making a beeline for the driver. And he's got his phone in his hand. And as he passes me, I see that on his phone, he's got the app that shows you via GPS where all the buses are. And he's looking at it. And as he passes me, I hear him going, you gotta move this bus. You got another bus coming up right behind you. The next bus in front of us is miles away. You should stagger the buses. Why don't they stagger the buses? People who get this bus, they can just wait and they can get the next bus. It'll be here in a second. Why don't you stagger the buses? You gotta move this bus. And everyone on the bus is looking at this guy and going, this asshole. And I'm doing that too, because I want to be people. Though in my head, I'm thinking, but he's not wrong. They could get the next bus. They should stagger the buses. That makes sense. But then he goes too far, because he gets up to the bus driver, and she just goes, I go by the schedule. That's what they tell me to do. I'm just doing my job. And then he goes right in her face, and he goes, nobody does that. You must be new. I've been taking this bus for 15 years. Like right in her face. And I'm like, somebody's got to say something. So I get up out of my chair and I go, hey, man. And that was all I had planned on. I didn't really figure out what I was going to say after that. So I was like, oh, now everyone's looking at me. And I go, hey, man. You gave it a shot. Which I thought was kind. But that's what I said out loud. What I was screaming inside my head, what I just desperately wanted to say was, how can I stop myself from becoming you? Did you hear how I described this guy? He was wearing blue sneakers, jeans, plaid shirt, glasses. For all I know, that was me from the future. Just come back to warn me via demonstration, like, oh, you think you got the nitpicking thing under control now, do you? Maybe stand-up comedy doesn't work out. You know, maybe your girlfriend breaks up with you. The bus schedule is about to get very important. I'm not Towsen. Thanks so much, you guys.